All right, this is the Noir Hour, and I am sitting here with Gas Lipstick of
You,
him fame and now
you,
of his new project, The Solitude. Gas, what's up,
hmm
man?
Hey, what's up? Nice
What's
talking to you, bro.
Yeah, you as well. So, like I was saying earlier, I'm a huge him fan, and I've always been a huge fan of yours.
hmm
Him's number one for me. I've always admired the drums.
Yeah,
It's always
thank
been
you.
very different.
Thank you so much.
It's
Yeah,
always,
I've had.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is that I was not never the most technical drummer in the world. What I tried to do was always to have tons of groove.
Yeah,
That was my thing, and that's why it works great in him because it's all groove, 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 groove. And the guys played so well with me. So together as a band, the groove is really great, in my opinion.
yeah. So I'm a drummer as well. And the one thing that that I've always noticed about your playing is that you're a lefty, but then you're
Yeah,
open-handed too. I think you're the only drummer I've ever seen with the ride on his left side.
I think the Faith No More drummer is playing that style. I think, or is it as well Gene Hoglan? But I think he had right. He has rights on both sides.
Yeah,
Mm, he's
it's just
awesome.
always been a definitely a different look for a
Mm.
drum player
I
to play like that.
I remember us doing tons of festivals with him, and before any shows with sound check time, all the other bands techs were wondering how the fuck is this guy playing? He has the drums set up this way. How the hell is he playing? Until they saw me playing, they were like, "Oh, okay, now I get it."
Yeah,
But they were wondering how the hell is this guy playing? He has a weird way of setting up the drum kit.
yeah. How did they feel about your triple bass kit?
Well, it only had one bass drum pedal, so
Yeah,
so two other bass drums were only for looks. But the story why I ended up playing this way is in a way kind of funny. My first drum teacher, 1981, he first three lessons he switched the drum kit other way around as a right-handed guy.
yeah,
Sorry, lefty. Sorry, as a lefty guy. He switched for three first lessons, but then he didn't switch anymore. I was like, okay. Then I started to play like open-handed, and then I came to Finland. I joined Oulunkylän Bobjats Conservatory, which is the best drum school in the whole country. I got in the first try, and then I had my first lesson there, and the teacher was like, you have an interesting style of playing. Let me ask, in the next room, there was this really awesome drummer, Anssi Nykänen, who is like one of the best drummers in my mind in the whole world. He was like, okay, Anssi, come a little bit to look at this guy. Come and check this guy out a little bit. Yeah, he came and checked, and he's like, oh my God, you play so well, so you shouldn't change anything in your playing because you play well already.
yeah.
So keep on going that way. Okay, because Anssi said so, so then I kept on going that way. That is the reason for all of this.
Yeah, well, when you first were, so you were in a drum school.
hmm
Who inspired you? I know that you're a big heavy metal guy.
Yeah. The thing with me is people think of me as the hymn drummer,
Yeah,
obviously, but they don't know. I'm one of the first speed and thrash metal guys in Finland. I bought Exodus's Bonded by Blood 83, Slayer's Show No Mercy, Voivod's first album, fucking 83. And I've been a speed thrash metal guy ever since that. I formed my first thrash metal band like 85. Played guitar and sang. Anyway, yeah. What was the question actually? I forgot about it.
just who inspired you? You know.
Yeah, I have to say, because I started as a guitar player, 1977. Few years back. I started to
Yeah,
play guitar, and then I started to play drums 81, and then I heard Slayer's Hell Awaits and Dave Lombardo.
yeah, the
I
Beast.
heard I heard he's for me the ultimate drum god, number one for me. I heard his play on Hell Awaits, and that made me choose to rather concentrate on drums.
Right.
So because of Dave Lombardo, who I met 3 times, he's an awesome guy. And anyway, yeah. So I'd say Dave Lombardo. Then of course, guys, I love Vinny Appice of Dio, awesome drummer. He has an awesome groove when he plays.
Yeah.
Like nobody plays a rock beat with the same groove as he does. He's amazing. Then I loved Charlie Benante of Anthrax. He was one big influence of me as well. And Ulrich, a little bit, but it was more Lombardo and Benante.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then, of course, with him, I did not play this style, but later on I've had some thrash metal bands where I've played this style. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So you're a young guy. How do you get into him? I know that you're not the first drummer of him.
No. Yeah, no, because I did not play on the first album.
Right.
I had a band called Kyria. Fairly successful. We played for 10 years. Came out with 3 albums, 2 albums with a German label, Gun Records, who had him as well later. We quit, and then maybe 3-4 months after we quit, villevalo called me up and said, hey, that we parted ways with a drummer, and we still have a 2-week stint of the last stint of the first album in Germany. Would you like to come in as a hired gun? I said, yeah, sure, I like your album, it's great, and why not? And then we did the tour, and the last show was in Munich, Germany. And after the actual set before encore, we went to the dressing room, and Ville was asking me that, hey, have you liked being with us so far? And do you like the band? I said, yeah, it's been really great fun, and you have great songs. And
yeah.
Then we went back on stage, and Ville said that, let me introduce you to our new drummer, Gaslipstick. Go ahead. That was it. The 2-week stint turned into 16 years. So in a way, a funny story. But I love the band, and I really liked the first album. I didn't play on it, and I remember I bought it when it came out, and I really liked it. So for me, it was great to play those songs that I like.
Right. Yeah, the first album, there was a huge transition between the first album sound and then what would be Razorblade Romance, and
yes,
big, very polished. And
they actually did an album that was supposed to be Razorblade Romance with the programmed drums. That was after the drummer left.
Yeah.
So they programmed the drums, and I heard it. I said, fuck, this sounds like shit. And thank God I joined the band, and we re-recorded the drums.
Yeah.
I mean, if they would have released that album, fuck God knows, I don't think it would have gone anywhere. It was horrible.
Wasn't that the demos, Slippery When Dead? Was it something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I don't fully now remember, but they did an album with program. They programmed the drums.
Yeah.
And to me, it didn't sit really well.
Yeah. I think I've heard some of that. Wasn't that Too Happy to Be Alive was on there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it. Well, looking back for nostalgia, it's it's nice when people find those songs, but you definitely would not have wanted to you wouldn't have wanted that to be what Razorblade Romance became. So
absolutely not. Because in the end, then when we re-recorded the Razorblade Romance, it became a huge hit.
Yeah.
It sold over a million in Europe.
Yeah.
So it became big. Thank God I came and saved the band.
Thank God you did.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, the songs on that album was already written. Ville had already wrote all the drum parts for that one. He
Right.
showed me the fills and everything because he's actually quite good drummer. Technically, he sucks, but he has really good ideas with fills and everything. He's very good in that. So everything was written because the songs were ready when I joined. So I just played and whatever he had came up with. But then starting from the next summer after that, then I wrote all the drum parts.
Yeah. How did you feel about Deep Shadows? Because there's mixed reviews on it. You know, it didn't do as well as Razorblade did, and obviously not as well as Lovemetal.
Mm-hmm.
What were kind of your thoughts on that? That entire album seemed to be way more laid back than I think any of the listeners were used to in retrospect now.
Let's say that it's not at all my favorite Him album.
Yeah.
One of the least favorite ones. It has some really good songs in it. It's not a crap album by far, but it's not. Let's say if Razorblade Romance is 100%, that album is maybe 92 or 94.
Right.
It's almost there, but not quite.
Yeah.
I like this still, but my favorite Him album is probably Dark Light.
Absolutely. That's my favorite as well.
It has the best songs and Butterfly and but my favorite song to play live was Buried Alive by Love.
Yeah.
That I always enjoyed because the fast song, I'm a speed and thrash metal fan, so everything fast I like.
Yeah, I have a lot of bootlegs where you start the song on the toms and you're just, you're kind of giving those fills. I mean, well, that's like me. I mean, my favorite song to play with my band is the one that has the most drums involved, obviously. So,
yeah. The thing is, when you're younger, I don't know how old you are. I'm 52.
I'm 32.
Yeah, you're young still. When I was younger, I liked to show off a lot.
Yeah.
Look what I have practiced. I can play this fill and that fill. Later on, when you get older, I have understood actually the main thing is the song itself.
Yeah.
A non-musician doesn't fucking care a shit about your goddamn. They only want to hear the vocal melody and the lyrics, right?
Right. That's right.
They don't care about your fucking drum fills. So don't overdo it by playing too many drum fills. And Villevalo taught me a lot about songwriting, and he told me that you can never play on top of the vocals. Never. You can never play a fill when I sing something, When there's a spot between sentences, when I don't sing, then you can play. But never play on top of me. There was as well some songs he said that, okay, the second verse, when it starts, don't play a crash on the first hit. Because I start to sing exactly the same time. When you play a crash, you are going to mute my vocals.
Yeah.
And then when I heard the final result, then I was like, damn, he was right. So he was very smart in this. Every little small detail in every bar, he was thinking everything in forehand, and he's very good. But he taught me a lot. Nowadays, when I do tons of sessions and I write drum parts, I always try to do such way that I never play anything on top of the vocals.
Right.
Because they have studied this. It doesn't involve you or me because we are musicians. But a non-musician, when they hear a song for the first time, they can only register 3 things, not more. I mean, you and me, we can hear 20 things.
Right.
We can hear if the singer is farting, for instance. We hear everything.
Yeah.
But a non-musician can only hear 3 things. We did an album with, oh my God, what is producer guy? Forgot his name. He was on Deep Shadows. What the hell is his name? Anyway, he had been working with Aerosmith, and he has been co-written a bunch of his Always songs, so he knew a lot about hits, right?
Right.
So I learned a lot from him. He said, okay, we know this fact that a non-musician can only hear 3 things. You have to make sure in his mind that those 3 things are 1, vocal melody, 2, lyrics, 3, beat. So this, on the first verse, don't play anything extra, super simple, so that people learns how the verse song melody goes. The second verse you can add a little bit something, because then they already know how the melody goes. So I learned a lot from these producer guys.
Well, it appears so, because you said you came up playing thrash metal.
Yeah.
And I did too. I came up playing fast, speedy.
I actually started playing hardcore punk.
Yeah.
Like 81, from 81 to, let's say, 91, 10 years fucking hardcore punk. And then slowly thrash metal, Slayer took over, you know, and then I joined him. I remember I met Alex Eliar from Children of Bodom, who's a very good friend of mine.
Yeah, rest in peace.
At a bar, yes, at a bar. And I had just joined him, and he couldn't understand. He was like, damn, how can you join that band? I'm used to hearing you play much more complicated stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how could you join that band? I said, well, my friend, the thing is that I love the songs. I go because I can play the songs which I love.
Right.
Then later on he understood why I joined, of course. But then at that time when I joined, he was shaking his head like, how can you? I can't believe that how you can join this band.
That sounds very similar to my story with October Noir.
Yeah.
Playing fast and then coming into playing melodic goth rock.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people would bands like him, the music that him has, it sits a lot better on the palate than, say, Children of Bodom sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to the untrained ear, you know. If you're listening to the radio, you're much more likely to listen to him over Children of Bodom if you're not an extreme person. So
once again, remembering what I just told you, a non-musician, which are most of the people who are listening to radio, they can only understand 3 things. For them, it's much more easier to understand a hymn song because it's simpler stuff than a Children of Bodom song, because they don't kind of understand. But there's so much happening that I kind of don't understand this song, you know.
Yeah.
Therefore, a simpler song goes usually better for big masses, you know.
Right. Well, and him is a prime example of that.
Yeah. It was very simple stuff.
Sorry. So tell me about your first time coming to the States, because some of that has kind of been documented on some of the DVDs that Bam made.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
actually, the first time I ever visited States was with my old band Kyria.
Yeah.
We recorded our last and third album in San Francisco at the Hyde Street Studios, which is a very legendary studio. And we recorded drums at the Alpha and Omega studio, which is Sandy Pearlman's studio. He did Blue Oyster Cult, you know, Steve Vai, and he had a great sounding room where we just recorded drums. And the rest of the album recorded at the Hyde Street Studios in San Francisco. And then that was the first time for me ever visiting America.
Tell me about coming to America with him. I'm sure it was very different than.
I think the first stint was that Bam's show in Philadelphia. I think that was the first time. Because he had a show there, and he invited us to play there. And of course, as always, super jet lagged when he come there. And I remember he came and picked us up with or I had some cars, and we went to the. Of course, everyone is super hyped because we were really big already. I remember 2000 when Razorblade Romance came. We were the biggest rock band in whole Europe. So we did really well here, but America was still unknown territory for us. So we were super hyped finally to play the States, you know. And the show went well, I remember, and everyone was so happy that we are finally in America, you know.
Yeah. I've been I've been kind of watching back on some of that. I'm a big nostalgia person, and him has always been my favorite band. So I've been watching some Viva La Bams lately, and I've seen you in there a couple of times, and the drum head with the cheeseburger on it, the Whopper.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't know where it is somewhere. I've lost the front heads. They're somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I remember when you sold your drum kit, the triple bass kit. I think it was around 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
I was just a broke kid at the time, but I would have loved to have that. But
yeah, there was this actually bidding competition between two parties.
Yeah.
In the end, a lady bought it for her son as a birthday present. And I talked a little bit to the lady. She said, well, I'm a CEO in a really big company here in America. So, well, obviously her salary is quite big.
Yes. Yeah.
So she paid a really good sum. It was by far 2,000 more than the other one bid it. So, but she bought that for her son as a present.
I was a lucky guy.
Pretty good present, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, going back to him, so Dark Light was the first album that I got. And man, sometimes it's hard for me to even. It's hard to talk to you about some of this stuff, but man, that album changed my life. I think him was just so different than anything out there.
I think so, yeah.
And you either love it or you absolutely fucking hate it. It's just there's no in between.
I think so. That's good as well. I love King Diamond. Awesome band from Denmark. And he had Merciful Fate before that. That is as well a band. It's not like nobody says, it's like okay. It's either I fucking love it or I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
There's no in between. And he's awesome. He was, wow.
There's one part on Play Dead on the studio recording. I think it's after the second verse. It's like, and this is crazy to even be able to ask you this because for years and years I've thought about this. There was one part at the end of the verse, I think it was the second verse, when you go back into the chorus, you hit the ride for one ting and then you go back into the hi-hats.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was always like a little mistake that got looked over, but it worked so well.
Thing was very well planned.
Yeah.
I never played a single note wrong. I think this was one of those Villevalo's ideas. He was like, hey, can you, in this one part, play this one right? Then I said, yes, of course I can, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because with him, everything was calculated. I never played a single. With him, I never, any show, any studio session, never played a single note wrong.
Oh, I'm not saying that you did it. It was just.
But it's made in a smart way. It sounds like it might have been a mistake, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's how smart it was. Smart invention in a way. It sounds kind of like it's a mistake, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, this is just like a millisecond in time.
Yeah.
But I always picked up on it because I'm obviously a drummer and him's my favorite. So, but it was that one part in Play Dead, and it was just it almost kind of stuck out.
Yeah.
Tell me about. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a great session. We did 2 albums in America, Dark Light, and then oh my God, I haven't been thinking about him stuff for like 7 years, so I forgot everything. What's the album called?
Lovemetal, maybe.
No, that was maybe Made in America. One of the second last album. What's that called?
Venus Doom.
No, after that.
Oh, Screamworks.
Yeah, Screamworks was well made in America. But that was the first session we did in America, in Los Angeles. And because we always wanted to do things top notch, the best way you can do things. So I hired a drum tuner.
Yeah.
Mr. From Drum Doctors. Mr. Ross Garfield. who's the best drum tuner in the world. So I hired him to tune my drum kit, and oh my god, it sounded great.
What do you think that your biggest, which album are you most proud of drum wise when it comes to him?
I like, well, Dark Light is my favorite album, so most possibly that one.
Yeah. I think the drums on Tears on Tape were definitely they were definitely different than everything else. Maybe the cymbals were bigger and
I like and I changed because I played Tama.
Yeah, you went to Ludwig, right?
Then for that album I changed to Ludwig. I loved it. Now I will play Ludwig until the day I die. I love it. And I think I chose a little bit bigger cymbals, like 20 inches, and for that album. And that album was because I had a hand injury before that album.
Yeah, I remember.
And I had to work on myself for 10 months to come back. That was a long time.
I remember that well. There was a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, yes, but 10 months. But I practiced a lot alone. Yeah. Let's say for 5 months I practiced daily. And then when I went into the studio, it was super easy to play. And I can hear the results afterwards. Great drumming on that album. Yeah. Because I practiced a lot.
Well, the last time that I saw you play drums was 2013. It was at the Rock Allegiance tour with Volbeat. And it was in Gulfport, Mississippi, the outstage where it rained the entire day.
Yeah.
And God, I wanted to meet. I know y'all were doing autographs and stuff, but the weather was so bad. But that's one of the best. That's one of the best sets that I think. That's one of the best hymns ever sounded, I think, on that tour.
I think that 13 around that time we were at our best, I think.
Yeah.
Because we already had played 10 years or something, or even more together. So, well, I've been in a band already for 14 years, so.
Yeah.
So then we knew each other pretty well.
Yeah, the first time I saw him was in 2010 in Atlanta on Screamworks tour with Damen and We Are the Fallen. That was probably the best lineup ever.
Yeah.
Because Damen was just kind of an unknown band, and of course they're not together anymore, or they are making an album, but they're not going to tour. But definitely a treat for that one.
Yeah. I remember that We Are the Fallen. They did quite well after the tour, after the show.
But I don't think they didn't stay together.
Oh yeah.
It was like all the members of Evanescence with a new lead singer.
Yeah, I remember.
They made a great album.
I stayed good friends with the bass player, Marty O'Brien.
Yeah.
Always when I visit Los Angeles, I always go have a coffee with him or have a dinner. He's an awesome guy and great bass player.
Yeah. Well, tell me about some of your favorite tour moments. I mean, I know that you've had a ton. You've played.
There's so many. There's so many. Somebody asked me how many shows have you played. I calculated 4,000.
Yeah.
That's few shows. I don't know. I don't recall anything. I mean, in general, I always felt that every tour we played really well because we practiced a lot before the tours. So we delivered on every tour. That's how I feel. At least the band did. I don't know about Ville. Maybe not every show, but the band always performed really well.
Yeah.
And we always were able to, come out guns blazing,
Yeah.
But I don't remember now anything all like moments. But in general, in Europe, usually South Europe are the craziest, Spain and craziest fans. They come and pull your fucking shirt when you're somewhere, just crazy.
Yeah.
Or Italy in general. Same South America. Just more crazier people. Finnish people are They are more like, he's there,
Yeah.
They don't come and bother you. Therefore, Madonna likes to be in Helsinki because nobody's bothering her.
I feel it. Yeah, I understand that. Well, I mean, with a band like him, I mean,
yeah.
If you were to see him, if you were to see y'all in public, it would be a big deal.
Well, not so much anymore, but it was crazy when the band was still going.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I remember one crazy moment. We were in Moscow, and we're taking the train to St. Petersburg. We were about to enter the train, and there were like 500 fans waiting at the platform. And the security guys started to fucking throw these little girls everywhere. Fuck off, and then we just ran into the train, and that was a little bit scary.
Yeah. Well, Tears on Tape is over, and y'all did a couple of shows throughout the years. 2017, him quits.
Yep.
And you weren't on the last tour.
No.
And I never really knew. I don't know if anybody really knows what happened, but what kind of happened, because they had a hired gun do that that run.
Because I wasn't in the band anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah.
The reason I quit was I didn't get along with Ville anymore. We just grew apart as persons. I didn't understand him, and he just didn't understand me, and it was hard in the end. And then I told myself, I remember the last US tour, first time in 16 years, I started to think before a show like, oh shit, do I have to? Before, never. And that to me was a sign that my heart wants to do something different.
Yeah.
And then I started to think that it would be wrong to me, to the band, to the fans, if I would continue, not feeling it 100%, like I used to. So that would be kind of lying to everyone. And then I was like, maybe now it's time just to stop it. I didn't enjoy it anymore. So, and then it was funny because when I quit him, then I was thinking like, okay, now I want to start again a thrash metal band and play something super fast. Yeah, right. I ended up joining 3 doom metal bands that are even slower than him. So I joined the oh my god.
I know Halatar was probably the slowest.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And that band is actually funny because it's not funny, it's incredible actually. It's almost like an extension of Trees of Eternity.
It is, yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
It is because the guitar player, who's the main songwriter,
right,
his fiancée died of cancer.
Yeah.
So he wrote the album for her. He said that he was in a room for 2 weeks, put the recorder on. He doesn't remember anything from those 2 weeks. In the end, he had just an album full of songs. And then he took, because he was a singer, the woman.
Yeah, Leah, right?
So he took her texts or poems or everything is her text on the album. So that's how that's band started. And then he called me up and said, "Do you wanna join?" I said yes, without even listening a single song.
Absolutely.
I said, yes. I said absolutely, I'm gonna do it because I knew Juha Raivio has been one of my favorite songwriters for 20 years. I love Swallow the Sun, so I knew that it has to be good. I don't even have to hear. So yes, of course I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Same he called Amorphis' Tommy Olsen as well. Same thing for him. He joined right away. He didn't even hear a single song. He said, yes, I will join. So let's see now. Juha said that maybe we're gonna make a second album as well. Let's see. But that album has sold pretty well. I don't know. I never got any official statements, but my wild guess is maybe 60,000.
Yeah.
For that kind of music, which is massive.
Yeah, well, I mean, Swallow the Sun is huge to me too. And Trees of Eternity, I mean, they made amazing music. So
yeah,
and it was almost like a super group. I mean, it's a super group of musicians coming together to kind of fulfill that path with that music.
Yeah.
Well, if there's ever another Holotar album, I'm sure everybody will be very excited about it.
Yeah. Let's see now. Well, let's see how it's gonna go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Then of course as well, join We Sell the Dead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. So
yeah,
that
the first album was as well doom metal.
that first album, I kind of, when you parted ways with the band, I kind of parted ways with listening to the newer stuff. But that first album was badass. The vocalist has a very high range, but it's still, and you showed off drumming that I had never heard from you.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, I was listening and I'm like, holy shit, is this really gas? Because you had double bass and there was a lot going on in a lot of those tracks.
That was my 80s heavy metal guy came alive.
Yeah.
And yeah, the singer is awesome. Then again, the newer stuff, it's more rockier and it's not my style.
Right.
And the thing is, I was supposed to write some songs on the album, but suddenly, boom, the songs were already written. I was like, okay, interesting. Yeah, but anyway, but I'm happy that I played on the first album because it's a great album.
Yeah.
Yes, I was supposed to start playing thrash metal again after a long time ago, but I ended up joining 4 doom metal bands. I have as well a doom metal band with Juha Raivio as well. The band is called oh my god, I should drink more coffee. Anyway, we haven't done anything with that yet. We have 7 songs and maybe one day we're gonna release something.
Yeah.
It's called Gallows Bird.
Okay.
But it's doom metal for sure.
Well,
so
you've been really busy.
I ended up joining 4 doom metal bands, so completely opposite.
Well, it seems to be more suiting for. It seems to work, so why fuck with it, right? I mean.
Yeah. Then I've joined. I have now 4 bands I'm playing with. I have Solitude. Then my old band Kyria decided that we're gonna do a couple of festivals this summer and some club shows because people have been asking us to do festivals for 5 years.
Yeah.
And now we decided, okay, let's do it. And we are playing at Tavastia, which is the most legendary club in Helsinki. The show got sold out in one day.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
So it means that people still remember.
Yeah.
And the second show is almost sold out as well. So I have the Solitude, Kyria. Then I play a guy called Leo Stillman, pop rock guy. I play in his band, but it's more pop, and he sings in Finnish. But great songs, and he's planning to do 100 shows after summer. That's a lot in Finland, 100 shows.
That's a lot anywhere.
Yeah, that's good money for me.
Well, so you'll be busy pretty soon.
Yeah, then I have oh my god. Kyria, Solitude. Then I play a Canadian guy. His name is Larry Sandman. He has been living in Finland for 14 years. Guitar player, singer. We had a show now last Saturday, like an Allman Brothers type of rock.
Yeah.
That band has amazing lineup. The bass player is by far the best bass player in whole Finland. He used to play in a band called Kingston Wall that is like awesome. He's their bass player, Jukka Jylli, and the keyboard player plays in a band called Popeda as well, a legend. So awesome musicians. So it's so cool to play with these guys because they're so good. And
That's
then
awesome.
I have other bands. I have a hardcore punk band called Ääritila. We don't practice much because 2 guys live in Sweden. So of course we not practice weekly. We usually practice a couple of practices before recording the album, and then a couple of practices before a show. So
Yeah. Well, it seems like after him kind of called it quits, that I think you and Linda and Burton made Flat Earth. Right? Am I correct?
yeah,
Sometimes I
Burton,
get the other guys confused, but
yeah, Burton wasn't in it. It was me and Linda.
okay. There you see. Then I fucked up.
Yeah, the thing is that I love that band. Great rock.
Right. Definitely
With
just rock and roll.
with a little bit maybe grunge vibe, a
Yeah.
little bit. But I started to feel half a year before I quit. I was thinking, okay, this is rock, but god damn it, I want to play metal.
Yeah.
I'm a metal dude. Then I was thinking for half a year, shouldn't I not? And then I told the guys that, guys, fucking, I love this band, great songs and great musicians, but I want to play metal. So I'm gonna quit. And then I formed Solitude, that is really metal.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, you know. But that's metal. And now I'm happy I play metal.
Yeah. So you've been going around with Solitude for a while. You've kind of been okay.
Yeah,
The
we started over a year ago,
yeah.
and we wrote 10 songs fairly quick, let's say in a month. Because the singer had already written 5 songs, and in the end he wrote 6 songs, and I wrote 4 songs for the album. The cool thing about that band, I love that band so much. We are the musicians are super awesome. The drummer is Janne Parviainen, who plays in Ensiferum. Great drummer. And the bass player used to play in a big band here in Finland called Jimson Weed. Great bass player. We did something. I think maybe 5 bands in the whole world can do the thing that we did, because not many can. We recorded the album in 10 hours. Everything, 10 hours. We recorded such a way that singer was singing live with the band. We played live. So 7 songs we did in 1 take, and 3 songs in 2 takes. Then I started to play the second guitar. I did 1 or 2 takes, and that's it. And then the vocalist did the background vocals, and then I played the solos. But we recorded the whole album in 10 hours.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane. And we recorded it on analog tape. We did not use Pro Tools at all, because we didn't need to do anything afterwards, because we were so good musicians. So on analog tape, you get the warmth that you get from analog tape versus you record to a Pro Tools.
Right.
And we have a great mixing guy, Hiili Hiilesmaa. He's been working with Apocalyptica, Sentenced, him. So he's gonna mix the album.
Yeah, and you did that all in Finland at Finvox, right?
Yeah, Finvox, yeah, legendary studio.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's one of the best sounding rooms in the world to record drums.
Well, that's where you did Tears on Tape as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think 3 albums in total with him.
Yeah.
Great studio. I'm friends with the owner, so we got a very good price.
Oh,
but
sure.
It was quite cheap to record an album. You just pay the studio for 1 day and that's it.
Well, yeah.
How many bands can record an album in 10 hours? Not many.
No, we're recording an album right now with October Noir, and we've been working on it for it's been several months. It's almost half a year. But also it's not our full time, we have other responsibilities with the band as well.
But this is typical way of recording. But this was so cool. I told the studio owner that, wait, when we come to the studio, you're gonna notice how awesome. He was just shaking his head. This is not possible. How? The singer went in to do background vocals. Okay, put it on. He did one take. Okay, I'm gonna do now the second background vocals. One take, and then third background vocals. One take. Okay, next song. He did every background vocal in one take. That's talking about a great musician, right?
Yeah, well practiced.
And we didn't have to, because we recorded live guitar, bass, drums, and vocals, and we didn't need to do anything with it afterwards. It was it. Take. Yeah. So, and then I told people that when you come see the band live, we sound exactly the same as we sound on the album.
Right.
Because it's played live.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah, we had our first show now in here in Helsinki, and oh my God, I was listening to some videos they shooted. Not a single person played a single note wrong. It was perfect.
That was just a day or two ago, though.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. The singer as well. Not a single note wrong, so perfect. It sounded like the album.
Yeah. Well, so, I did watch the video for Bride of Misery at Vimbox.
Yeah.
It is so obscure to see you playing it. I mean, because you're the drummer. I mean, to me, you're the drummer of him.
I'm the drummer for everyone, you know.
And you're playing, and now you're playing a Dean ML, and I'm just, what the fuck is going on? Because obviously, I'm sure all of your guys that you have dealt with, everybody's multi-instrumental.
Yeah.
But to see Gas Lipstick jamming the guitar, it's wild.
That Bride of Misery that you saw, that is actually the take that is on the album.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, it sounds phenomenal.
That's us playing the take, which is on the album. So there you can see nothing is fake. You see that we are playing.
Right.
That is the take that is on the album.
Well, I mean, with the Solitude, there's not a whole lot of backing or gimmicks, or it's just Sabbath worship.
And it has as well a rough mix.
Yeah.
And it sounded already like so good, the rough mix. And then when the guys mixing, oh my God, it sounds awesome. You can hear that one song now is released with the mix. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And listening to the album, because it's played live, it's so, like, I hate modern metal. Metal bands, they sound so plastic nowadays. Because they usually the drums are played in small bits and pieces, then they edit afterwards every hit to and then put tons of samples and samples. That's why it sounds plastic.
Yeah.
When you listen to Solitude, when it's played live, you can hear it's really alive. There's some hits here and there, okay, they don't go exactly like this, but what the fuck is music? It's and you have the warmth of the analog tape. Oh my God, it sounds like album from the 80s.
I feel the same way about music. Some of that plastic metalcore.
Horrible.
I play it on the radio because people love it, but in my taste doesn't meld to that.
Modern heavy metal bands have one major flaw. They are lacking the riffs.
Yeah.
They don't know how to make riffs like they used to make in the 80s. You compare it to any fucking Slayer album, it sounds like shit. Slayer, they had the riffs. And everything was played most possibly live as well. And you can hear it from the tape when you listen. It's not afterwards put every note in which sounds so plastic. But yeah, Solitude is all 100% live. And you can hear it. You can really hear it.
I love it. And the Sound of Absent Life just came out. Great song.
Yeah. Our idea is to release a song once a month, maybe 3 songs, 2 more songs. And we are now looking for a record deal. I'm talking to now really good, I'm not going to mention any names, but it's a doom metal label from England. And the main guy is an old friend of mine. So he wants to hear more songs.
Yeah.
So we are not the richest guys in the world, so we have to collect money that we can pay for the next 3 songs. So hopefully tomorrow I can pay. So we get 3 more songs, and then after he has heard 6 songs, maybe we get a deal. I hope so, because it's a really good label.
Well, what's what's the plan for the Solitude? Would you like to take it to be the main project? Because I think that everything's there.
Yeah, yeah. And I get to play guitar again. I used to have a thrash metal band called Dementia, Slayer type of thrash. I was playing guitar and singing.
Yeah.
We quit 96, so I had to wait for 27 years or 25 years that I can play guitar in a band again. The thing with Solitude, we had Solitude 30 years ago. Awesome band, which we take a lot from, is a Swedish band called Candlemass.
Yeah, I know them.
So 30 years ago, we had Solitude. We played Candlemass covers with a different singer. Then about a year ago, the drummer approached me and said, hey, his singing brother has made Candlemass type of songs. Do you want to hear? Yeah, send them. And I love them. These are awesome songs. And then the drummer was like, hey, how about we start the band again after 30 years? But now playing own songs. I said, yeah, why not? Then we had a practice with the same guys. Practice after 30 years. It was pretty awesome. Hey, I forgot how cool it is to play with you. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But now we are playing own songs. We played one Candlemass cover though, Well of Souls, and we're gonna most possibly always play one or two Candlemass covers every show, so because we love that band so much.
Yeah. Well, why not? I mean, you're having fun, and everybody else will enjoy it as well. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind. Well, the good chance that a lot of the times when you do those covers, people don't even tend to notice. So It's just fun for you.
Yeah, and the thing is that I would like to take that band up a notch. You know, I would love to tour with that band.
Yeah.
And really make it my main band, of course, because that's something I'm really now concentrating on. I have already written. It's so funny. We have already written 7 songs from the next album. I wrote 2. And I have 2 popping in my head, so I'm most possibly gonna again write 4 songs for the next album. I told me and the singer is writing the songs, and I told him that after we have finished recording the first album, let's see when we start making the second album. It's not gonna take long until we have 10 songs ready. I said, yeah, that's true. I already have 6 songs ready. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So
well, it's good. It's good to be in a band that you're inspired to want to play. You're inspired to write.
Yeah, because they're old friends of mine, you know. I know these guys for 35 years.
Yeah.
We used to hang out in the same bars, and I have played with a drummer in many bands before. So it's really awesome and a pleasure to play with these guys. They are so good musicians. I've recorded this drummer because I have our own studio. I'm not a great sound engineer, but I have recorded our demos. So I go to the practice room to record the guys. The drummer is so good. He does one take. Next song, only one take. That's it. Done. Same with his brother who's the singer. One take. Done. Next song. So they are so good musicians.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
It's hard. It's hard to do drums in one take. I don't care who you are. So.
Yeah. But same with everyone. Well, just me and the drummer, we have both made most possibly 40, 50 albums already. So
yeah,
we're not at all afraid when we go to studio. It's the other way around. I'm super happy and excited. Yes, it's gonna be a fun day today, you know.
Yeah. So you did a song with 616.
Yeah.
And Matt is a good friend of mine. We just met this year in Memphis.
Yeah.
He was in the studio at Sun Studio doing some of his stuff. How did that come about? Because
they approached me, and I heard the song, and I thought it's a good song, quite hymnish. I was thinking then again, because I already played in the original, should I do it? I was pondering in my head for a few days, and now no, yes. Then I decided, fuck yes, still a good song. Fuck, I do it.
Yeah.
So I recorded the drums in Finland and sent them the files, and the rest is history.
That's yeah. Yeah, he's really proud of that, and I don't blame him. It's cool to have Bam and Gas on a song.
Yeah, it has a tons of him though.
Well, absolutely. His his influence shines through.
Yeah.
Well, with Valo.
But good songs. So.
Yeah.
But then again, I already played the original, so
yeah.
I don't have so much will to go now tour with 616 because that's not the original.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I can understand. I understand what you mean.
Because I have tons of bands now anyway tour with, so I wouldn't even have time to do 616 because they were supposed to. They had a tour now. They were asking, "Do you want to do it?" But then I can't because I'm touring in Finland, so
right,
which I'm already committed to, so I cannot now cancel something I have already agreed on.
Yeah, well, they've got a new drummer now. His name's
Yeah.
Jeremy. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you were ever a fan of Woods of Prey.
I've never heard of them.
Ooh, well, you got to listen to him. My friend Brian Bello, he's playing with Matt, and he was the guitar player for Woods of Prey. That's in my top 5 greatest bands of all time from Canada.
Okay.
I'll send you the information for that to check that out.
Yeah, or send me a link to a song from YouTube, for instance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then when I listen to that, then it's gonna pop more songs gonna pop out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. So. Yeah. Yeah, the thing with me, I'm very picky with music. I mainly listen to 80s albums. I think new metal sounds shit in general. There's only Solitude that sounds good in my mind.
Okay.
There's few, of course, but because the thing with Solitude, I remember when we again joined the band, started to play after 30 years, we decided, okay, let's do things the whole time like we did it in the 80s.
Right.
Same, like recording, we did the same way like in the 80s. We recorded live.
Well, I mean, I don't really listen to much newer stuff either. I think the older you get, the more you just go back to what you love.
Yeah.
And you kind of just forsake everything else.
Yeah. If you compare to Slayer's Raining Blood, there's not a single album that comes even close to that. So why listen to something that doesn't come close? Why not listen to Raining Blood? That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Or Anthrax Among the Living or Master of Puppets or...
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I feel about him and the older bands from back then. I kind of like what I like and just keep it on repeat.
Yeah, it was funny with that band. We had 2 things that everyone agreed on. Everyone liked Type O Negative, and everyone hated Beatles. Everyone hated the Beatles in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had conversations about how bad fucking the Beatles are in the tour bus. So yeah, everyone in him hates the Beatles.
Yeah. Well, my band gets compared to Type O Negative all the time.
Yeah. That's not bad because they're awesome.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way that we look at it. Our lead singer, he's tall, he had long hair, he chopped it off, now he's growing it back. He's got that baritone voice.
Yeah.
And we just play that melodic style that Type O kind of did, and we get shit on a lot, but we also have a lot of fans because of it. And it's not done intentionally either. The new album is going to be a complete departure from anything like that, but it'll still be compared. So, yeah, Type O was important to everybody.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Yeah,
and that everyone in him loved Type O.
Yeah, I know Villevalo talked a lot about that.
It was tough being in a tour bus, let's say 6 weeks in America, because we didn't have many bands everyone could listen to.
Yeah.
But Type O was one, and then King Diamond was out of the band. Everyone was listening to that. But, or maybe not Burton, but the rest. Burton is not a heavy metal guy.
Yeah, well, Burton always, I don't think I've ever heard Burton speak a word anywhere. So, very quiet and... are you still in touch with the guys from him? Are you still in touch with them?
With Ville, no. But Linda, I played with him with Flat Earth for, was it 2 or 3 years? So
yeah.
And then I just called Miguel 2 weeks ago. We had a nice conversation in the phone, and Burton I called as well. So always when I see them, I hug and we talk, and have beers. So they are still brothers, you know.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. I was watching an interview, and then one popped up with Villevalo, and somebody had asked a question if him was really dead. Like that maybe say in 4 or 5 years that you guys wanted to get back together, if it was an opportunity to happen, that he was totally on board with it, but he wasn't focused on it now. How do you feel about that?
If I would be asked today, I would say no. But time will heal. Nobody can say how I feel in 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
But today, I would say no.
I think that's kind of what the point that he was making too, is that because Hot Topic is just starting to sell more and more him merch online.
Really?
I don't know if you know that, but yeah, they're coming up with new merch to sell.
Yeah, because he's still touring, you know.
Yeah, well, it's him merch. It's not Villevalo's.
Yeah.
There will always be a market for anything that he does or that him ever does again. That'll always be there. But I was just kind of curious how you felt about that.
If they would ask me today, I would say today no.
Yeah.
But there's not impossible to say how I will feel in 5 years.
Right.
Could be that I have changed my views and then I say yes. So you never know. Never say never.
Yeah. Have you heard Villa's new album?
No.
You haven't?
Not interested.
Okay.
Not the slightest way interested.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's fair. I saw him I saw him in Orlando a couple of weeks ago. It was really good. I tell you though, it's hard. It's weird to see him on stage and there's not Linda or Miguel or Gas back there. It's very different.
It doesn't sound the same. It can't sound. You have completely different musicians. It cannot sound the same. One strong thing with him was that we are all everyone in the band had own sound. You cannot copy that. So to have he's having some guys that are not so rock and rollers.
Right.
Try to sound like him. It's not gonna sound the same. But he's doing his own thing, and I hope he's doing well. And kudos to him, you know.
Yeah. I love the new album. It's definitely a departure from him, but there's still some of that there. And I was just curious because I had no idea on anything between you and Valo. I like I said, when I asked about why you weren't on the farewell tour, I had no idea. I hadn't heard about it, so just curious questions from me.
Yeah. I don't want to. Well, we didn't part ways as friends, unfortunately, and he should maybe look in the mirror. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough, yeah.
But then again, I'm not gonna take away anything from him. He's still an awesome songwriter, and always was one of the best. And if he's touring, fine, just tour away and be happy.
Yeah,
that's fine. It's not gonna take anything away from me if he's doing good shows, you know.
Right. Well, absolutely not. Yeah, and in the same token of that, I mean, you're finding a lot of happiness and success with the Solitude, and you're staying super busy.
I'm happy. I'm now happy with the bands I'm playing with.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing. I'm getting older. I'm 52 now, so I've decided that I'm not gonna do anything if I don't like it, even though I would get money from it. But if I don't like it, why the hell should I play something I don't like playing?
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
So far, I have never played a single show or a studio recording for money. I always have to like the song that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Then if I like the song, then magic will happen because I always play with a feeling. You know, I play the song, and if I don't like the song, then it's like, I don't know. And then nothing good is gonna come out of it. So.
Well, if to anyone watching, if they've never seen you play drums, they're definitely missing out because the Digital Versatile Doom DVD that y'all did during Venus Doom.
Yeah.
Y'all turned it into an album.
Mm-hmm.
That the songs on there I mean, holy shit. That's the best hymn sound that I think Venus Doom. I think everybody tuned down a lot for Venus Doom musically, guitars and all, and that's just about as good as it gets to me.
Yeah, yeah.
To hear Join Me in Death played to the tuning of the whole Venus Doom album, because everything was a lot lower.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, Gas, I won't keep you too much longer, man. I'm so glad that you came to hang out with me and talk a little bit about the past and the future.
I had a nice talk, and thank you.
Yeah.
And
it's a dream come true to get to sit here and talk to you about some of these things.
Yeah. Please go listen to the Solitude song because it's awesome. We got to release more songs. If you like Candlemass and Black Sabbath, that's the music for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been the Noir Hour with Gas Lipstick. Yes. Holy shit.
Yes. And keep on rocking, people.
Yep. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.